I always get like the heebie-jeebies when make sure my microphone's working. When somebody drinks liquids on videos and I can like hear the liquid in their mouth and while they're swallowing it, but then I drink liquids on the camera. Man, I hope that my microphone's working. Oh, it is. Okay, great. What is up, everybody? Let's see what mic I'm working with here. Great. I hope everybody can hear me. I don't think my microphone is working. All right. What's up? What's up, everyone? Let me know if you can hear me or not. That would be cool because my microphone is not wanting to work because look at that. You can't see it, but it's quite broken. Holy guacamole. I don't know how I'm going to fix that. Let me see. Audio. Whatevs. We're rocking with it. I'm going to pretend like this mic works and keep talking into it. But I guess I'll talk a little bit louder too. So doing that thing that I do where I get on here when I don't want to. And I've had a lot of things on my mind that I wanted to get on and speak about. And we're going to kind of flow with it. But I titled this, What is to Come? What is Coming? Because, man, there are some really big things coming. And what comes for us on an individual level is going to be so much determined by the way that we think, the way that we speak, and the way that we act. And more importantly, it's going to be determined by the way that we show up in the world and how we are treating people and what we are doing with these intense energies that that we are being bombarded with right now. I was just on the phone with somebody and it was just such a powerful conversation, you know. Hello, Michelle. Thanks for joining. And just all about God and the enemy too, right? Both of these forces and how, yeah, this realm that we dwell in, it is a shadowed planet. It is ruled more by dark energies. However, God is so much stronger. God is so much better. And that love of God that is in our heart can overcome all of these things. But it doesn't look that way. It doesn't feel that way. And that's been done strategically to keep us afraid, to keep us sick, to keep us stuck, and to keep us easy to manipulate and to control. And that's really hard to overcome. It's really hard to get over that and then maintain your position to not get sucked back into that. It's hard. And I'm going to share a story with you. And I have some really exciting news to share that I'm going to share here in a little bit. But a story I'm going to share with you. It was Tuesday. I was having an incredible day, fantastic day, making medicine, singing, dancing. I haven't listened to music and danced and sang in a long time. And I was doing that. And then I was processing 100 eggs for this freaking thing I'm going to tell you guys about in a minute. And I was just overcome with so much joy and so much gratitude. And I started crying and I could just like feel God all around me. And I was like, thank you, God. I'm just so grateful for this life. And not even like 2 minutes after that, things started to shift, to change. Both sides of my sink started to fill up. They were clogged. And I just processed over 100 eggs, like 130 eggs. And a few of them were rotten, right? You're going to have some rotten eggs, especially with that many eggs. And so I'm like, okay, it's fine. There's this pipe under the sink. I can get under there and take it off and put a bucket under it, and unclog it. But it wouldn't come off. And then it starts squirting rotten egg water all over me. It was ridiculous. It was a lot. And I'm like, okay, God, all right, it's fine. Everything's fine. And then one thing after another, these things started happening, these inconveniences, some minor, not so much. Thankfully, I had got some help with the sink, but that took all night long. And then I started getting trolled on Instagram by somebody who I know is local, but doesn't have her name on there, and just coming at me, comment after comment on these different posts about stuff I haven't talked about in years. And I was like, all right, God, clearly this is the enemy. This is the devil trying to distract me right now. And it was really tough. And I just prayed and prayed and prayed and refused. For a second, I was like, what's going on, God? Like, did we just have a moment? Is this what I get for like feeling the love of God so much? Is this my reward for that? I almost for a second wanted to look at God and be like, what are you doing? But it wasn't God. Because I remember we live on a shadowed planet. And there are forces that do not want us to get above a certain frequency, especially that love of God, and will manipulate things around you. Because especially when you really carry that love and you know that you are divinely loved and chosen and guided, they can't touch you, but they can touch things around you. They can affect the environment around you. And that's what was going on. And these are always excellent opportunities for us to make choices. How am I going to choose to respond to this? How am I going to choose to think about this and feel about this? And what am I going to do with it? And me, it's gratitude. And I've been cultivating gratitude consistently for years. And that's what it takes. You got to start off small and just be grateful for the good and the bad and all the things. And just wake up every day and find the smallest things to be grateful for. And then it does eventually become second nature and instinct, something that you can more easily transition to even in the hard times. And when I tell you, I'm so glad I did, because things have been great. Things have been great. I got through that. But with that being said, I think with what's coming, with this shift that is coming, that things like that might happen more and more right now. Like I said, these powers that be, they don't want us in our power. They don't want us knowing who we are and what we are capable of. Human beings are so incredibly special. We possess something that I don't think anything else does. And our energy is so special that it's been being harvested, you know? So yeah, let me sip on my water real quick. Mm. And actually, hold on. Hold on. I've got something exciting to share. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thanks for holding on. The two of you that are still here with me, thank you. So there was one thing that I wanted to talk about. We just have to stay strong right now. We also have to remember to reach out to people, reach out for help. We're not supposed to suffer alone. If you don't feel like you have anybody that you can call, you can call me. Let's go. God has put me in a position to be available for people who need that word spoken to them, who need some love shared with them, who need to be reminded of who they are and how important they are. We need each other for that, especially the outcasts. So I had an idea, and like this idea was planted in my heart a while ago, but it was a seed, and I wasn't really sure what that seed was going to grow into. But as that seed continues to take root and to sprout, I'm starting to see more and more of what it is. And last year, when everybody was freaking out about the food stamps and food stamps being taken away, and it was just another thing for us all to be divided about, fight over, I decided to take some action. Because on one hand, like I said, I have lived in these cities where people pump out babies just to collect checks. I have watched them take that money and go buy a whole bunch of absolute poison. And I hate all of that. But I also recognize how this system has been built to keep the people at the bottom, and the people at the top. And I am all about the underdogs. I am all about the underdogs rising up. So that's what I want to do. And to get the underdogs to rise up, we got to get hydrated, right? And nourished. Really big on that. Our physical organ of a brain needs to function, and it requires certain nutrients like water and fat to do that. So I saw the problem. I saw everybody fighting over the problem. I saw everybody spewing their opinions over the problem, and I decided to take some action. So I did. I invested every penny that I have into a freeze drying operation. And for those of you who don't know what a freeze dryer is, it's kind of like, maybe that astronaut food. Maybe you're familiar with astronaut food or MREs. It is food that you can preserve that will stay preserved and basically fresh for up to 25 years. And it retains 100% of the minerals and over 90% of all the other nutrients. And I have a vision for this. Whew, do I have a vision for this? We're not there yet, but what I've decided to do, I did that. I made that initial investment and started learning back in October. And I've just been learning and preserving and building my own food stores first because, got to take care of me and mine also while keeping the bigger picture in mind. And now I'm ready. And I'm going to need some help from the community to really make this happen. And what I am going to do is I am going to make ready-made, easy meal kits for single parents, definitely. Because it's really hard to make sure that your family is nourished when it's just you and you got to work and you got to pay all of these bills and you got to be robbed for your taxes and all the things. It's really hard. But honestly, too, whoever God puts in front of me, but I'm going to go and I'm going to get lots of fruits and vegetables. And I've got a cookbook up there with other ideas. And I'm going to have these containers. Like I'm going to have eggs and I'm going to have quart jars filled with freeze-dried egg powder where they can you take 2 tablespoons of the powder and 2 tablespoons water and you mix it up and boom, you've got a raw egg. And I want to create these meal kits for low-income families. Low income people. I really, really, so much is shifting for me. So much is changing. And I'm so excited about it because on one hand, I've also decided like the people that I work with, the people that I invest a lot of time into, I want to do that with warriors. I want to do that with people who are ready, who are not here to play games, who are done making excuses, who want to get better, feel better, be better, and do better. That is who I'm going to really focus my time into. But I'm also passionate about the dehydrated, malnourished people suffering at the bottom. All right. Because that's where I came from. I came from underneath the shit. All right. And had to fight really hard to get out of there while also recognizing like it was me and God. I didn't have too many hands reaching back. And sometimes, the only way for us to learn is to really have to climb out by ourselves. So I don't want to enable people. I'm really excited. I did not plan this live. I'm just jumping on. Do you like that idea, Michelle? Isn't that cool? So, but also freeze dryer, it takes anywhere from 18 to sometimes 4 days, 18 hours to 4 days to process a batch. So it's a lot of time. It's also a lot of work. You have to prepare the food in a certain way. And then as soon as it's done, you have to take it out and process it immediately. I cut out bags that I vacuum seal them in, and I have to seal one side of each one. Then I fill the bags with the food, and you have to have oxygen absorbers and you put those in there, and then you have to vacuum, and you want to do it all within like 30-45 minutes so the food's not too exposed to oxygen. But in this case, I'll be putting a lot of the food in glass jars, and I have a thing that will suck up the air and help to seal that glass jar. And I've done enough experimentation to know that you can open a glass jar, and as long as it has an oxygen absorber in there and you get the food out and then you put the lid back on, it'll be good for a couple of weeks. But yeah, like these easy made soups that I've been using with my freeze dried vegetables on those days where I'm just super tired. I've been going all day and I don't want to cook a meal, but I need something nourishing. I pour some of those vegetables out of there into the water. I've got some shiitake mushrooms. I get a bag of miso paste for maybe like, I don't know, $8 to $15, something like that, but it lasts forever. Not really, but it lasts a long time. And then boom, I've got this nutritious Mason Genie. Is that what that thing's called, Michelle, that sucks the air out? Mason Genie? And I want to be able to provide that to other people. So I'm going to be doing some fundraisers soon. I also should probably sit down and make some more structured, concentrated videos about it, talking about it, or some posts. But I also would love some feedback on like what foods do you think people would want, especially people with kids, right? Like I know the freeze-dried fruits are going to be great. But what are like, I could maybe do some like hamburger helpers. Meat's a little harder, especially like but chicken breasts, lower fatty meats to do in the freeze dryer and just provide nutritious and delicious food to people who don't have access to it rather than saying, here's some money, go buy some Oreos with it. Mm-mm. Nope, nope. Because also, like, unfortunately, so many of us have been born and bred into these systems that it's just normal. People think that what's been sold to us as food is actually food, and it's not. Um, and people can only do the best with what they've got and what they know. I know for myself, I did not know that a better life was an option. You guys, the things that I thought was normal were so deranged, but I didn't know that because that's what I was born and bred into. And I don't know why I was blessed with enough perspective or awareness to start to see that these aren't lining up and this isn't right and to strive for something better. For me, it's just all God, all God, no matter what. I was telling my friend earlier, if I had to go through everything that I went through against some of the darkest, most sickest things this first world has to offer to be right here where I am today, I would do it because I love my life. And I know that a big part of that is because we live in this world of polarity. We have light, we have dark, we have up, we have down, we have hot, we have cold, and everything has a spectrum. So something is for everything that is dark and sick in this world, there's also something so light and beautiful in this world. And because I have seen and endured and overcome some of the darkest things with that love of God in my heart, with that desire to seek and know God, I have also experienced just pure, my face melting off bliss because of the love of God. And, you know, right now, all how crazy things are, how much tension there is, how much pressure there is. Yeah, it's not pretty, it's dark, it's disgusting. And at the same time, for every single one of those things, there is something just as beautiful. Okay. And we want to know that. I don't think we should ignore what's in the dark, but we also don't want to become consumed with what's in the dark because then we are no good to anybody, you know? And those of us that have the privilege, the opportunity to see and feel and know the good that this world has to offer, I think it is our responsibility, our duty to take that in and to hold on to it and then go share it. I get so excited, go share it with other people, you know? And the conversation I was having, I keep seeing this all over social media. People aren't angry enough. You're not angry enough. Nobody's angry enough. And okay, yeah, let's be angry. We should be angry. But what are we going to do with that anger? Just like when everybody was so angry about the food stamps and people not having food. Yeah, I was pissed off too. So you know what I did? I did something about it. And wait till you see what I'm going to continue to do about it. And every problem that I get so upset, like not even upset that I can feel in my spirit, yes, I allow myself to be angry, but then I come up with a plan. I am not one to focus on a solution without searching for, or to focus on a problem without searching for a solution. Otherwise, you're just whining, okay? And asking for attention and virtue signaling. Look how great I am because I'm portraying like I care about this thing. Well, if you really care about it, what are you doing about it? And it can be really hard to hone in and focus on what you're going to do about it because when you absorb that stuff in, everything gets chaotic. You get anxious. Everything is confusing. Nothing makes sense. You can't concentrate. And that's what these powers that be, that's what they want. They want us angry and confused and fighting each other and so anxious that we can't do anything about it. Mm. And I, for one, am going to be out here doing something about it. And I know there's so many people. I know that if you're sitting here watching this right now, then you have a purpose. You have something inside of you that this world needs so much. You have something that can help to shift this. All right. And one of the most important things that we can do is to just go out and be the example. And I know it sounds so cliche and I'll be the change you want to see, but it's the truth. Be the change that you want to see If you want people to be nicer to people, then go out and be nice to people for no reason, not because they think like you, look like you, act like you. As a matter of fact, if you if they represent everything that you're angry at right now, try to have some compassion, try to show some love. And now when I say this, I'm not talking about PDFs, all right? And I do want to say I'm really confused right now that it is literally in our face that most of these people at the top are sick and demented, okay? Literal PDFs. And I still see people posting the president, all right, posting these politicians, posting these people and defending them. And part of me gets it, right? It's so crazy that most people are probably checked out. They don't have the brain capacity. They're dehydrated. They're inflamed. They don't have the capacity to process the truth that is being given to us right now. But that excuse only goes so far, you know? Ignorance is a choice. It really is. But also this is all kind of new. A lot of us have known about this for a long time, but this is new to a lot of people, you guys. This is shocking to a lot of people. And so even those people that we see that are still defending this, man, we got to pray for them. We've got to send them love. We got to try to be patient with them, send some compassion. Now, there are some times when I see something that's just so outrageous that I'm like, oh, I just got to get you off my feed. I hope the best for you, but I'm not going to subject myself to that. And that's okay too. Let's see. Someone said, I mean, there is better things to do than to feel like my time belongs to a group of people. It doesn't make sense anymore. Yeah, driver imports. It doesn't. Like, we are literally working 9 to 5s to pay a bunch of PDFs. Okay. It's nuts. But there are things that we can do to break out of the system. And one of the most important things to do to start liberating ourselves from these sick systems is to take care of our mind, our body, and our spirit. We cannot do anything for anybody else. We're all so worried about everybody else in our neighborhood, in our state, in our country, and in other countries. Meanwhile, we're sick. Okay? We can do so much more for the world when we are vital. We need that vitality. And the powers that be are trying so hard to suck us of that vitality. They are harvesting our energy, and look at the sick stuff that they are doing with it. So liberation and sovereignty is first and foremost. We have to take care of our minds, our bodies. We have to hydrate. We have to eat real food. We got to get that shit out of us. The healthier we are, the harder it is to manipulate us. Bottom line. I say it all the time, our brain, like 80% water. But if all you drink is soda, then your brain is 80% high fructose corn syrup. We are hydroelectric beings, water and electricity that flows in a current. And when that current is flowing well, it turns into a magnet, right? And it can attract so many things. We can attract the best of the best. We're attracting either way. So what frequency we're on is determining what we are resonating with and what we are attracting towards us. And when we are hydrated and nourished, minerals are like the spark plugs that keep that current flowing faster and faster and better and better. And then we're just these powerhouses that can attract whatever we need when we need it for what we're here to do. But nope, keep us dehydrated, keep us malnourished, and we can't get that flow going. So the best thing we can do for ourselves in the world is to get that flow going, get that electrical charge going. I'm talking to all of the high voltage men and women out there. Those of you who even if it's a little bit, you've tasted that power, it's inside of you. And it's hard to even know that and still maintain that, because again, the system was designed to make us forget that, to make us doubt that, to keep us out of that. And that is why, like, now when it comes to my time, the time I'm investing into people, I want to work with high voltage men and women, because we need help out here. We need each other. We need support. We need people reminding us of how powerful we are, reminding us to drink our water and eat our vegetables and get some real good, real protein. Okay. And that's what I'm focusing on. But I still want to kick back what I can to the ones that are still down there. I'm not going to strap up and jump into the trenches anymore, but I'm right there at the ledge with my hand out. Hey, come on, let's go. Let's go. And then for the warriors on the battlefield out here, when I see you slip, when I see you fall, I'm going to be right there to help you back up. And I know that the same is going to be there for me. It is every day, all of the time. The people that come through just to lift me up and keep me going. And this is what we're supposed to do, I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, support Israel. I don't know what you mean by that. Most of us don't even know how to support our families, support our communities. Why don't we support our lymphatic system? Why don't we support our physical bodies? I keep seeing, Christians talking about crucifying the flesh and denying the flesh. And this has been really big on my mind lately because, like, this is the flesh, this body, like, this is flesh, this body that houses our soul, that carries us through the day, these hands that allow us to do the work, these feet that carry us through this world. This is the flesh. And I love my flesh. I love my body. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to reject it. And I'm certainly not going to demonize it. I'm going to love it. I'm going to nourish it, and I'm going to strengthen it. And I think that we have been systematically programmed against ourselves in so many ways for, again, that reason, to keep us dulled down so they can keep siphoning our energy. So that was good. There's something else that I've been thinking about that I really want to share. It's definitely resonates on a lower level, but I'm going to do it. A couple of things. No, I'm not going to do it. Who's here with me? Who's here with me? Say hello. Talk about the real issues. Yeah, I am talking about the real issues. We are dehydrated, over-medicated, malnourished. People cannot think. People cannot feel. We have been so disconnected from source God that even when we do see these problems happening around us or in other countries, we can't do anything about it. He said drug use, overdose, poverty, diseases. Yup. And why do you think this is? Because people are too inflamed to care. We have been strategically manipulated. Hello, Amy. I don't know why I said it so nasally. Hello, Amy. Genocide. Yeah, it's been happening for years. None of these problems that are going on right now are new. History just keeps repeating itself. What can we do that's different? All of these things have happened over and over and over again, and they just keep happening. So what are we going to do that's different? And also remembering, it's so important to remember, like, and this, like, we are each an individual. One person can do so much. One person can make so much impact on the world around them. But we can't do everything for everybody everywhere. And that's important to remember, because a lot of us, we can feel the suffering happening all over the world, and we want to change everything, and we can't. And it's not fair to ask that. It's not fair to ask, a single mother who's struggling to pay her bills and take care of her children to also care about something that's going on the other side of the world. Our brains are not built to compute that. All right. They shut down. But for the people who are in a position to make a difference there, that's great. And I think that those people need support. And I think we should all be supporting each other all the way up and all the way back down. But we have to remember that it's not as easy as, oh man, care about this, what's going on over here. Hell. But if every single one of us started with hydrating our minds and our bodies and our spirits, strengthening our bodies, fortifying our minds and bodies, that's going to have a ripple effect, that shock wave, right? So our frequency, especially when it's high, it ripples around us and it shifts the frequency of everything around us. I'm one of the least selfish people in this world. I mean it from the bottom of my heart when I say we have to take care of ourselves, or we cannot do anything for our families, for our communities, for our states, for our nation, for other nations. We can't do it. Someone said, sadly enough, witchcraft and wizardry took over America. Well, let's talk about that for a second, because I was just talking about this too. Everybody's practicing magic, whether they believe it or not. Even you talking about witchcraft and wizardry, you practice magic every day, whether you realize it or not. And it's all manipulation of energy, and you can manipulate energy for good. You can manipulate it for bad. And yeah, there are a lot of people out there manipulating energy for bad. They have society in a mass hypnosis. Okay. And then they've made us afraid of the, oh no, don't let us tap into our powers, don't go get yourself some rocks because God knows you're going to burn in hell for that, when really, when God gave us these. I talk about this a lot. Like, they have demonized rocks, something that nature gave us, and it has been proven, like, whatever device you're watching this on right now, it wouldn't even be working if it wasn't for the crystals inside of it that are transmitting energy. We have gold in our brain. We have crystals in our body that help to conduct that energy. These are minerals, like the minerals that conduct the energy through our body. All right. And it's like water. God gave us water just the same. It's just as natural. And if we don't drink water, we die. But that doesn't mean we pray to the water. We pray over our water, but we're not saying thank you, water. We should thank our water enough. But it's just really weird to me how these things that really help to connect us to that God within, because the kingdom of heaven is inside of us, have been demonized, and we're told that they are bad. And not only that, but we're going to spend some eternity in hell for connecting with them. And go ahead, get me started on modern Christianity. Modern Christianity is one of the biggest reasons why we're in the state that we're in, because it has been used to manipulate us and disconnect us from everything. The one true church is nature. The only truth is nature. Believe it or not, nature was here way before us. Nature will be here way after us. And every concept of God, every book, every dogma, every doctrine written on God came out of the mind of some human, but not nature. And there are laws to this realm that we live in. Okay, physics, the laws of nature. There are laws and there are rules. And we have been taught to go against these laws, to go against these rules. And not only that, but they have been demonized, and it has disconnected us so much. Most of modern Christianity, most of modern Christians are not following Christ Jesus. They're following man. And they're not doing what Jesus told us to do, which is to love God with all your heart and to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And they have a hard time loving their neighbor as they love themselves, because they hate themselves, because they've been trained to hate themselves. They are told that they are full of sin from the moment they come out of the womb, and they are dirty and full of shame and guilt. So how can we love our neighbor like we love ourselves when we've been taught to not even love ourselves? That's crazy to me. I think that if every person who claimed to be a Christian actually started acting like a Christian, we would see some real positive change. That wizardry and witchcraft that you talk about. When I drive down the highway and I see McDonald's and Taco Bell and Burger King, I see evil, evil, evil. We're being fed plastic and random body parts as food. That's crazy. That food is of this world. And if every person who claims to be a Christian woke up and realized that and quit feeding their families and their friends and their communities that sick, tainted, poisoned food, we'd see some big change. And again, that is my war cry. That people who claim to be Christians start acting like Christians, like Christ. Listen to Christ, not man. A lot of those books that we read from were not even written by Christians. Look into the Council of Nicaea. Look into the men who voted these books into being. Look into, that it's wild to me. It's wild to me. And people get so defensive because they are so identified with all of their different ideologies that they can't even fathom comprehending anything that doesn't agree with what they've been taught to believe. So they just shut down, reject you, don't want to hear it. Oh, now you're evil. It's crazy. But then I go I go into these buildings, into these churches, these houses of God, and the people are so sick. They're ate up with diabetes and pain and arthritis and inflammation and mental health disorders and all of these things. Why? Because they're not being taught how to take care of their flesh. They're being taught to reject their flesh. I don't understand it. They'll tell you that working with plants and the elements of the earth is witchcraft, but then they'll symbolically eat flesh and drink blood. I don't understand it. But it's all right. I am angry. I am. Ooh, so angry. And also wise enough to recognize that energy of anger, it's so powerful and it's so potent. And if you learn how to channel it and to transmute it, you can do so much with it. So no, my question isn't, are you angry enough yet? My question is, are you doing something with that anger? Are you doing something other than posting memes and arguing with people online? What are you doing? Hello, Rashav. I miss you, bud. I miss you so much. See you doing your thing out there. Happy for you. Oh, Rashav, my cat just joined. I think she knows you're in here. Say hello. Say hello. Oh my goodness. She's such a good kitty. Say hi, Meadow Sweet. What is it? Well, that was good. Wanted to get on. All right, I'm going to try one more run at telling you guys about my new idea, so maybe I can use the clip later. Again, I chose to invest every single penny that I had into an operation that is going to be able to provide nutritious food to people who don't have access to it, quality fruits, vegetables, and animal products. The work that I am doing is going to provide ready-made meals and snacks for adults and children who don't have access to this type of nutritious stuff, or maybe don't even realize that they like this nutritious stuff because they've been raised on such toxic poison their whole lives. And I'm going to need help from the community. I'm going to need help raising money to buy the food. I'm going to do all of the physical labor. I'm going to prepare the food. I'm going to freeze dry the food. I'm going to process the food. I'm going to pack the food, and I'm going to distribute the food. I need help buying the food. Okay. It would be helpful I need help buying the vacuum seal bags. I need help buying the oxygen absorbers, but mostly just the food. So, especially for all of you who are so angry about the food stamp situation, you're so angry about people not having access to real food, let's help out. Let's do this. Let's provide real food to people. All right. You can, I should have wrote this down. You can Venmo and Cash App at Botanical Jewel. And then you can Zelle to my phone number, 904-295-7384. So the Venmo and the Cash App is Botanical Jewel with 2 L's. I'm going to write that in the comments. Obviously, with Venmo, there's an @ and with Cash App, there's a $. And then for the phone number, for the Zelle, and remember, all of this is you can write this off if you wanted. You are literally helping a 501c3 ministry when you do this. But I promise you, every single cent that comes my way is going right back. If it doesn't feed me or help keep a roof over my head or buy me some books to keep learning to share with all of you, it goes right back into the community. And right now, I'm asking for help to get good food to people who do not have access to it. All right, take a screenshot of that. I'm going to wait one more second. Take a screenshot of that. All right. We can do it, you guys. Sure. Are you angry enough yet? Okay, maybe. But what are you doing with that anger? Are you loving enough yet? Are you going out there and spreading anger? And you think that's going to make a difference? All you're doing is adding fuel to the same fire that is consuming our spirits. Are you loved enough yet? Are you hydrated enough yet? Are you nourished enough yet? Can we ask these questions? And if the answer to any of those is no, what are you going to do about it? If you know in your spirit that you are a high voltage man or woman, if you know in your spirit, even if it's this the tiniest sliver of knowing, you know that you were put here for a reason, you've got that love of God in your heart, you know you have a purpose pulsing through your veins, and you would like some help in actualizing that, I'm here for you, because I do know a way, because I've made a way. And every single one of us here that has that in our heart, we need each other. All right. The world needs us and we need each other. So that's it for now. I'm going to go. Got to do some work before tomorrow. If you're in St. Augustine, come see me at the amphitheater tomorrow for the farmers market. Okay. And remember, everybody, that I see you and I feel you because I am you and I love you.